Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Special warm welcome if you're brand new here. My name is KiwiSimsKate. Kiwi because I'm from New Zealand, Sims because I love The Sims, and Kate because that's my name. So welcome to another speed build today. It's been a little while since my last upload, so I do apologize for that. Life's just kind of gotten in the way. But if you are a viewer of the channel and you miss my content, or you think that you want to consume some more, I do actually stream twice a week on TikTok, Twitch, and here on YouTube. So you know, if you're feeling like a little bit of KiwiSimsKate, you can always join us there live. And all my live videos actually get uploaded to this channel as well if you just filter by the live playlist. I save them all there. I have done that for the last few months. I did consider creating a whole new channel for it, but honestly I don't think it's worth it at this stage. With the size of the channel, it would probably be a little bit overboard by doing a whole extra channel for that. So they're there if anyone's interested. It's just an easy way for me to also store the videos, so people can refer back to them if they want. Today I am building a cottage, and this is in the world of Henford-on-Bagley, which we got with Cottage Living, one of my all-time favorite expansion packs. I just think it's so unique in terms of the other content that we have in the game. It was so exciting when it came out. Some of you already know this, but I used to live in the UK. I did live in London, so it's not exactly like Henford-on-Bagley. It's a little bit of a different vibe. But I, traveled around the UK a little bit while I was there, and Henford-on-Bagley feels just like some of the wonderful places I got to spend time in while I was there. So yeah, I think it's such a special world in The Sims 4, and definitely one of my favorites. This build is actually built to be a rental home. So not a rental home, sorry, like a holiday home, a vacation home. I can't remember what they call it specifically in The Sims 4, but I built it as like a holiday destination, kind of like an Airbnb type thing. The decoration in it, I went a little more just generic cottage living vibes, generic cottage vibes. I didn't have any specific family or Sims or personalities, traits, etc. in mind when I built this and when I finished it. I just had the idea that this would be somewhere that maybe your city Sims would escape to spend a bit of time out in nature, to spend some downtime, maybe away from all their electronics and all their modern equipment. So it's quite cozy. There's some sort of more cozy hobby type activities included in here. I can't even remember I think I did add a TV, just a small one. But there's no computers, there's no real kind of fancy technology. And I also, in the basement that I created, put some of the nectar making equipment in there as well, because I feel like the horse ranch and cottage living items just go so well together. I thought it was a good opportunity. Maybe the family who owns and runs this Airbnb, they possibly own a vineyard somewhere as well, so they offer this as a kind of experience for their guests, that they can come and stomp some grapes and make their own nectar or something like that. So this build was actually initially created as part of a save file that a community of builders that I work with. And if you've been watching my videos for a while, you've probably heard me mention them before. It's the Shedford Hollow save, which is kind of slowed down a little bit recently. It started off a few years ago now, but a lot of the original organisers of that group of builders and CAS creators, you know, they've sort of moved on, they're doing other things, life gets busy. I absolutely get that. I mean, I couldn't be an organizer of something like that because I've just got too many other things going on. So it has slowed down a bit. I don't believe that the actual save for Henford-on-Bagley has been released yet, but I actually built this house quite a while ago now. I mean, it's got to be at least a 6-month-old build. I'm only just recording the voiceover for it now. I was sort of originally thinking, oh, I'll wait and release it when they release my speed build for it, when they release the save file, but I think I shouldn't wait for that because I'm not too sure if it'll happen. So never mind, that's all good. Instead, I will upload this build to the gallery and you can just download this. And I'm sure the other creators have probably uploaded their ones as well for Henford-on-Bagley. So if you search in the gallery for the hashtag Shedford save file, I think is the hashtag, then it should show up there. You'll probably get all of the previous ones as well. But then if you filter by pack items and you select the Cottage Living EP, that should narrow it down a bit further as well. Or you can just find my build on my gallery under KiwiSimsKate. That is my ID. And it's a limited pack build as well. Now, I can't tell you off the top of my head exactly what packs I used with this, but obviously Cottage Living was a big one. This is how those save files are normally created. The team selects a small number of expansion packs, game packs, stuff packs, kits. Usually there's like 1 or 2 EPs, maybe 2 game packs, 2 or 3 stuff packs, and 2 or 3 kits. So it's a nice kind of contained amount of DLC. And the reason behind that is just so that, people can get access to these. I have, a lot of content in my game. And so when I build without any pack restrictions, I do know that that's going to limit some people when they download my builds. Obviously, you can still download it. It's just if you don't have some of the packs that I'm building with, those items will either be replaced by base game items or just not turn up in the game. So I really like participating in the save file because of that, because it allows more simmers access to these builds, people who might not have everything or a lot of the content. It's just a good opportunity for more simmers to access these builds. So as I said, I can't remember exactly all the packs, but Horse Ranch was, I think it was just the 2 EPs, so Cottage Living and Horse Ranch for expansion packs. And as we go through, because I'm watching this on one monitor while I'm recording my voiceover on the other, as we go through the furnishing, I might be able to distinguish some of the other packs and kits as I place items. I wanted this build to have the most luscious garden. I wanted it to be really packed with colour, vibrancy, really kind of peak English countryside garden. I grew up always loving that style of gardening. My mum was really into it. My mum always had wonderful gardens, and as she got older, obviously it was a bit harder to keep up with them, but she always kept beautiful gardens and just had an eye for kind of what plants went together. And she really loved the style of, you just kind of throw a bunch of stuff in, and even though it kind of does its own thing and it's a little wild, somehow it still fits perfectly. And so that was the look I was going for the landscaping in this build. And there's also, at the end of the video, I get to just a small little outdoor area as well. The reason why I didn't spend too much time creating, a lot of things for the backyard of this build is because I figure that if you're spending a lot of money coming all this way out to Henford-on-Bagley, your Sims are probably going to want to go out and explore the world anyway. So I imagine they're not going to be spending a ton of time sitting around in the accommodation. Instead, they're going to be going and exploring the village and all the other beautiful areas that we have in the different neighborhoods. This kitchen, I went with a really dark brick in here, which is not normal for me, I think. I played around a little bit with this. It's a bit of an awkward shape, but I find that a lot of these older traditional cottage homes sometimes do have really odd shaped kitchens, and they're not perfectly laid out, and things have got to kind of fit in weird corners and spaces. So I went with that look, and to make sure that the dark brick on the walls didn't make the space feel too dark or too enclosed, I put in some yellow, quite a bit of yellow colour into the kitchen, kept the counters nice and light, just to bring a little bit of brightness and a little colour into that space. Yellow is actually a colour I use quite a lot through the house as well. Again, it feels quite countryside, it feels quite cottagey, and it brings a bit of warmth to the space that the darker wood tones or the darker bricks kind of take away. So just making sure that there's warmth to the tones of the house as well. The living room might be my favourite space in this build, although I do love a couple of the bedrooms upstairs. This living room has got cats and dogs sofas, so that must have been another EP that we used. So there must have been 3 EPs in this. Cats and dogs, horse ranch, and cottage living, which is not necessarily that common for that save file group. But they work, like the items work so well together. I also use a bunch of clutter from Cottage Living, these little pots and vases, wall hangings. I absolutely adore that basket that has some cushions and a blanket in it as well. And then the fireplace is one of the Cottage Living fireplaces as well. I really liked using the sheep rug in the living room. It's probably a rug that I would normally use in a kid's room, but I think it's just so sweet in the space. And again, I think if you're going to decorate a house that you're renting out for people who are most likely traveling here from out of town, who aren't locals, who are coming here for that real country experience, then you're probably going to decorate the house quite, quite typically cottage and a little maybe over the top, all of the most extreme versions of cottage that you can think of, because you want to give your visitors that full experience and they're paying to really feel like they may be living in a really traditional space. So I threw in tons of things that made the space feel like it. Here in the entranceway, I've just got a few cute little decorations, including the grandfather clock. And then I was going to just have stairs down to the basement, but I ended up closing it off, and I actually think that works so much better. The entrance space was feeling a little oddly shaped, so closing it off and adding this door I think works better. One of the kits we used here as well was that Peacemaker's Mudroom Grange kit, and that worked really well. I used a bunch of the wallpapers from that in the kitchen. You would have seen me use some of the items like the bench and the long kind of cupboard decoration piece out there, and then a couple of items in the entrance as well, just by the front door. There's some from that kit. This space is a laundry, so we also used laundry day stuff, I think it's technically called. Laundry day stuff pack, I think. Yeah. So this space is sort of a walk-through laundry. There's a washer and dryer here, and then it walks through. You've got a doorway that goes to, I guess I would say, the main bathroom. There is another bathroom upstairs that's a full bathroom, but this is maybe the more luxurious of the two. This is a lot more spacious. Like, it is big for a bathroom. My IRL bathroom is ridiculously large as well. There's so much space in it. And there's a shower and a separate tub. So this I wanted to feel really luxurious. This idea of having a bath underneath the window that looks out to this really colourful cottage garden feels so romantic and so perfect to me. And that's exactly what I would want from a countryside holiday, I think. Just soaking in the bath. I love that thought. So I had to put the bath under the window, of course. And then just because it was such an awkward size and space to fill up, I used one of these concertina divider things beside the bathtub. That also meant that, I was thinking, realistically, what you could then do is someone could be in the bath and you could have that divider in front of the bathtub, so you've got a bit of privacy, but other people in your family or whoever you're with could still use the bathroom if they needed to, come in and use the toilet, wash their hands, clean their teeth, whatever, and you'd still have a bit of privacy to actually just soak in the tub. Obviously, you wouldn't probably want people running through there the whole time you're having a bath, trying to relax, but they would then have that option. Upstairs, I have created 3 bedrooms, so there's enough space currently in this house for 5 Sims to sleep. 5 Sims of child age upwards. There are 2 bedrooms with a double bed each, and there's 1 bedroom with a single bed in it. There is space if you wanted to add more beds. The room that has a single bed, you could absolutely fit a double bed in. So there's a lot of space to shift things around and fit more people in if you wanted. I think this would be a really, really adorable family home as well. If you had a family in mind that you wanted to play in Henford-on-Bagley, there's plenty of space. It's totally playable. I have play tested the build, so you could move Sims right in. I mean, it might be a little expensive, so you might either need to have quite a lot of money in your account for your Sims, or just cheat the money and use free real estate or something to buy the home. I very rarely purchase homes in The Sims with The Sims actual money. I often just move a sim in using free real estate. It's a little bit cheeky, but hey, look, you do what you do, This, I guess I would call the main bedroom, I think, because it's the biggest. It's sort of at the end of the house, upstairs. It feels like what would traditionally be the parents' room, or just the master bedroom or primary bedroom. It's it's pretty simple. Again, at the start of the video, I explained that I didn't have specific Sims in mind, so I haven't gone heavy on sort of personality build. It's more just making sure I stick to that cottage vibe that might be created if you were giving someone an experience to stay on this lot for a week or a weekend or however long they were staying. Just tons and tons of cottage living and horse ranch items across the spaces, and then using a few cats and dogs things here and there. Those are the 3 I really probably pull from the most. The cottage living EP has incredible wallpaper. The cats and dogs curtains that I'm using across here in all the bedrooms are perfect for this build. They work so well, and they come in some really fun swatches. And speaking of fun swatches, this room here, I kind of talked over that last bedroom, but that was another double room. And then this room is the last bedroom upstairs. It's decorated for a single sim. You could have a child here or any age upwards. It has a more youthful look to it. So, you know, I wanted to create something where you could bring your sims that are a family away on holiday. So maybe you're traveling with a child sim or a teen sim, to give them this, you know, outdoorsy experience or something. Go and look at rabbits and the pumpkin competitions and things like that. So this room is definitely decorated more youthful. That's not to say that you know, it has to be a child sim that stays there though, but it's got a lot more youthful swatches. It's got the bed cover that has the sheep on it and just softer hues, and I love it. I really love how that came out in the end. Downstairs in the basement, I just added a few more decorations. It was looking a little bit bare, and I didn't want to overclutter it, but I felt like it needed a few more bits and pieces here and there. The screenshots are coming up shortly, I believe, so we're coming up to the end of the build. This is just the outside area that I talked about. There's a couple of activities, but it's not overly designed. But if you want to grab this build, it's on my gallery under KiwiSimsKate. If you want to join me streaming twice a week, you can find me across TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch at KiwiSimsKate. That's basically where you'll find me on all of my socials. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope it's not too much longer until I get my next video out. I do try and get them out as quickly as possible, but sometimes it's a struggle between work and life and all other things. And if I do see that the full save file gets released at some point, I will try and remember to add that to the description down below. But if you search for Henford Hollow save online, you should be able to find all the older ones there, and we've actually gone through world by world by world, and there's a few already that have been released that you can download. And as I said with this one, they all have limited packs, so you can kind of pick and choose what suits you the best based on what content you own. But yeah, thanks for watching the build. I'm going to leave you for the rest of this build and then screenshots. If you enjoyed it, please do hit that thumbs up button. It absolutely supports the channel. You can leave a comment if you've got any questions for me, or you just want to kind of talk about the build, or any inspiration on what you think I should work on next. Always looking for ideas and inspiration, or storylines as well. And subscribe if you're not already. Of course, that greatly supports the channel. The more I grow, the more I can make content, and the more sustainable this is. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care out there. Bye.